how do you go from being an artist to getting into rooms like that?
I mean, I just had an instance of this just now. I wanted to present my album to Simon Fuller.
So, did earning young really change the way you thought about school and academy?
Not really, because I didn't pay attention. It was all in the short-term memory. But
Tell us about what are the other ways singers make money and where the serious money exists.
you become a brand and you build your own personal brand when you become an artist.
I saw a video of you dancing with Shakira as well.
I'd say, I mean, I definitely didn't build those relationships overnight.
It's a rapid fire round. You'll build it or you'll blow it up. So a university degree.
Build it.
Okay.
Build it, but
Record labels. Moving back to India.
that's the easy bit.
Welcome to Face to Face, Conversations That Matter, a podcast brought to you by Face Media Network and hosted by yours truly, King Porwal. Face to Face is where real conversations meet real insights. This podcast brings together entrepreneurs, industry experts, and thought leaders who share their insights, their lessons, and perspectives on business, finance, culture, and life. Through interactive conversations and honest storytelling, this podcast wants to inspire people to think bigger, act smarter, and explore opportunities in this ever-evolving world. This podcast is brought to you by Brick and Beyond, a corporate social responsibility initiative by Downtown. Downtown is a real estate development firm based in Mumbai and is focused on creating a redevelopment platform recognized for its transparent governance, thoughtful design, and impeccable craftsmanship. Through Brick and Beyond, Downtown is committed to spread financial awareness and empower the next generation of real estate investors. Today's guest didn't ask for permission. At 12 years old, whilst most of the kids were learning and preparing for their exams, she was learning a new skill that could be monetized immediately. She built a beauty brand, she got into music, and she got into global rooms like the Cannes Red Carpet. And somewhere along the line, she did something that most creators struggle with: to convert active income into assets. Today's conversation is not about glamour, it's about leverage. So please welcome Avina. While most 12-year-olds were worrying about homework, you were learning a new skill. Tell me a little bit about the mindset of that 12-year-old girl.
First of all, thank you for the lovely introduction. At 12, I honestly had no idea I was actually building a career or anything like that. I happened to be in India with my family at the time. We were on holiday for about a month and I had a spare 2 weeks and I enrolled on a hair and makeup course.
Oh, just out of nowhere?
Just out of nowhere. And I think something about it excited me at the time. I guess maybe most 12-year-olds would be playing or relaxing, but I think even at 12, I had a quiet bit of independence in me, and I wanted something of my own that I could build and develop. It started off as a hobby though, but yeah, I had no idea.
Did you see that in your family? Was anyone into makeup and anything like that?
No, nothing at all.
So you were the first person?
I was just interested in hair and makeup. I enjoy doing it for people. I used to help a lot of people doing it.
Interesting. So why hair and makeup though? Like, what made you choose that?
So I always enjoyed doing it, and a lot of people used to ask me for help when they were getting ready.
When you were 12?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
So I used to do it for a lot of people even at a very young age, just help them. And I thought to myself, well, if I actually trained in this properly, that maybe I could make something of it. And it was definitely just a hobby. But learning the skill in India was very transformational for me because my teacher in India, she invested so much into me. She had a lot of other students, but she used to keep me behind in class even when everyone else had gone home. And she would start teaching me the real secrets of the trade,
Okay.
the things that she wouldn't teach anyone else, even because I guess it's because I was going back to London and I would never be like a competition to her. So she'd give me new formulas, new techniques. And in that short space of time, just 2 weeks, she taught me everything that she knew.
Is that a fair amount of time to at least get a hang of hair and makeup?
It's actually, yeah, you can do it in even a shorter space of time, but because hair and makeup is one of those skills that you develop, as the more you do it, you keep learning, you keep developing it, but the basics can be learned in a very short space of time.
Interesting.
So when I returned to London, I started doing bookings immediately, and I guess that course was probably one of the best investments of my life.
Okay, so tell me more about the first paid client that you had, like how did it come about? How did you crack that?
Okay, so when I came back to London, I started offering my help initially for people wanting help getting ready in hair and makeup. And that led to me building my confidence, getting more recommendations, and sort of building people wanting to recommend me to their friends and family. And I think that was really helpful. And then I kept my prices super low at the start as well. So people would recommend me more, and it just made me get more practice. I always over-delivered, treated every client like they were the only ones, and made sure that people would just keep recommending me. And word of mouth then becomes your biggest asset.
Right.
Then,
but it's usually said the first paid client is probably the most difficult. So, tell me the story. How did you get that?
So that was a friend of my family member who had seen my work somewhere, and I got my first bride ready at 14. So that was my first paid bridal client. But hair and makeup I was doing from the age of 12. And I think word of mouth is the most important asset in this business, because your reputation is everything. One bad job can undo years of hard work.
Right.
And
also given the fact that it's such an important day for a bride.
Exactly.
There's a lot of pressure on the shoulder.
There's a lot of pressure. I think at the time it felt so normal, but now looking back, it's quite crazy, because you have to be reliable, you have to show up on time, you have to be calm, and it is the most important day of a bride's life. You have to make them feel beautiful on the day. So
did earning young really change the way you thought about school and academics?
I think later on in life, I realized that there's two types of education. One is institutional education, like school exam degrees, and the other is experiential education, which is discipline, resilience, culture, and perspective. Because in school, I wasn't somebody who paid a lot of attention in class, but before an exam, I would learn everything the night before and sort of go in and do the exam and on coffee without any sleep, and somehow managed to get A's or whatever.
You were a bright student.
Not really, because I didn't pay attention. It was all in the short-term memory. But I thought to myself, well, if we can top your exams by just learning short-term content, what are we comparing here against each other? What are we proving? So I realized that, some of the brightest people, they're not the top students. They're very average students, but they have the most extraordinary brains. And I think that grades don't define your intelligence at all. I really value experiential learning. I actually came back to India after I graduated university. I came to live here by myself for 4 months. And I came to learn Indian classical singing.
Whereabouts? In Bombay?
In Bombay, yeah. And it was the first time living away from my family as well, like in another country. And I lived with my teacher in India. And she would wake me up every morning at 5 a.m. in the morning, and we would do 3 hours of riyaz. And then in the afternoon, for 2 hours, I'd go to another teacher that I'd found in Bombay, and we would learn like more filmy songs. And then I would come back to my original teacher in the evening that I was staying with, and we did more classical riyaz for another 2 hours. So that was every day for 3 to 4 months of intense learning Indian classical and semi-classical singing. And this was the most crazy experience of my life, I'd say, and it really built my discipline, my resilience, my culture as well in India. I've just got so much of the Indian culture in me, even the Indian values like the dharma and the karma and all of that. It's very instilled into the way I do business and the way I am in my life. And these are the things that I know I could never have learned in any classroom. And I really value the time that I had here because it changed me who I am as a person and shaped me who I am today. So I'm really happy that some of my greatest education has actually been in India with the hair and makeup course and with the singing. And to me, that's something that I'd always value. And that's why one day I want to give so much back to India, because India's given me so much. So it makes me want to work harder and give back more. I love India.
So you said you studied business management, right? And that too from King's College London. Did the degree help you set up your business in any way?
If I'm honest with you, probably not, because I was doing this business already throughout school and before I went to university. Because I don't believe that business is learnt in a textbook or a classroom. It's very much learnt by doing, by making mistakes, by adapting as you go along. And school, I mean, university for me was very much a social thing.
Having a good
time. I made friends. I did a lot of stage performances in my uni. So I experienced living away from home as well for the first time, and that gave me that independence.
Right. Well, didn't you say that you lived in London and this college is also in London?
Yes.
So but you were still...
I lived in the halls of the uni.
Okay. Student accommodation.
Yeah.
Okay. Fun times.
Exactly. I think to start a business, all the information and all the skills were just learnt in primary school even, you know. I remember my primary school so well, and all the teachers and everything we learnt, the lessons were very, you know, based on individual talents and very individualized. So that gave me the foundation to just go ahead with this.
For a newcomer who's trying to get into the music industry, what are some of the mistakes that they should avoid that you might have made and you want to talk about?
I made a few. I think who you take advice from is one of the most important things, because a lot of people in this industry give you a lot of different advice, and it's about who you want to listen to, or do you listen to yourself? That inner conviction is sometimes a lot more powerful and a lot more important. I wish I had more inner conviction. I took advice from the wrong person quite early on in my career, and I feel that held me back a lot. And I wish I had more inner conviction. And I think that's this old self versus my new self. That's quite a big theme in this album that I've been working on. The other mistake I would have made is trying to do everything myself and not delegating enough. But that also requires trust. And you do have to trust the right people for your own growth as well. Otherwise you sort of become a bottleneck in your own expansion if you're trying to do everything yourself. The other thing would be, you know, wasting time, you know, also in places where you're not always valued. Time is very precious, and I wish I put more thought into that earlier on in my career. So yeah, don't waste time, just go for it. I would say to people, and trust your own self, have that confidence. And a lot of people say a lot of things when you put yourself out there, so be positive and listen to the positive comments from people rather than the one negative.
Be selective in what you absorb in terms of
self-assurance is very key. It's a tough industry, but with the inner conviction and the confidence, you can that gives you the resilience to power through.
Most people think that singers make money through their albums. Tell us about what are the other ways singers make money and where the serious money exists.
Okay. Yeah, so the serious money is definitely not in streaming platforms anymore. It's more through live shows, touring. You become a brand and you build your own personal brand when you become an artist. And that's where the monetization comes from, building your personal brand and being known for what you stand for and your type of music. And also, you know, when you've built a brand, you get endorsements from other brands. Sponsorships. That's where majority of the income comes from as well. And I mean, people that are starting out, they might not start monetizing straight away, but when you're starting out, you can start monetizing in ways like teaching music. You can teach people music. You can do smaller shows and sort of build yourself up from the bottom up. And that's, you just carry on building and you just don't give up, and money will come. Treat it as a passion and the rest will follow through.
Right. The point of asking that question was, you know, having a beauty brand or real estate have predictable income, right?
Yeah.
But when you're a musician or an artist, the income stream is not predictable. It would be a lot at times and not at all at times. So how do you deal with that kind of uncertainty?
I personally think anything in business is unpredictable to a certain extent, and music probably more than the real estate and the beauty. Because beauty and real estate, they're very emotional and creative industries. And yeah, you're right, real estate is more stable. But like I said, with the music, if you start off with more stable sources such as teaching music, that can be a very stable source of musical income. Being a session singer, a studio singer, I think teaching would be a great way in having a stable income in music.
Okay. And so you beat the uncertainty by choosing something that is
and
stable.
Having a regular place that you're performing every week. You can have a contract with a venue that you're always performing there, and you have long-term contracts with certain promoters or venues, and it can definitely be a very stable source of income. It's when you're trying to build something bigger and greater, and you're taking your step to the next step, it becomes a bit more unpredictable and you may start doubting yourself. But I think that's when you just have to let that resilience and confidence take over and push yourself to always excel.
So you have walked the red carpet at Cannes, right? That's a big global platform. How do you go from being an artist to getting into rooms like that?
I would say be open to possibilities. When you put yourself in the right environments, I think doors just naturally open. And I'm not an actress or, haven't done a film in Cannes, but I was in the right environment to get an invitation. And I took that opportunity. And I would say it could be as simple thing as having a conversation with the person next to you, or, having an introduction made by somebody that leads on to another opportunity. So once you put yourself and you network and you're in the right environments, doors naturally open. I mean, I just had an instance of this just now. I wanted to present my album to Simon Fuller, who, as I put myself in that environment where he was giving a talk, and I had the opportunity to play my album to Simon Fuller and get his feedback. So it's about being open to these opportunities and pushing through.
So it's basically being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, a lot of it is that, and also building your connections over time as well, and that really helps.
So you have built a network across industries, from global athletes like Chris Gayle to other entrepreneurial circles. I saw a video of you dancing with Shakira as well. So how do you become that person who's themselves at situations like that? How do you put yourself in a room like that? And what are your thoughts of people trying to get into places like that? What would you like to say to them?
I'd say, I definitely didn't build those relationships overnight. It's been over many years and consistency. I guess it's putting yourself out in the right situations and the right places, but it's not, networking isn't really about chasing proximity, it's about adding value. So when somebody does make an introduction for you, when you're in that environment, you should think like, how can I add value for this person, rather than thinking, what can I get? And I think people respect that, because high level people, they value trust and privacy as well. So those are important, and that's where the respect comes from. Just being respectful, and also building credibility in your own lane. So when you've built something for yourself, people respect that, because when you are introduced to someone, they will always research you and who you are as well. So build something in your own field first, and then when you're networking, it always helps. And that's when doors open naturally. It sort of becomes a snowball effect, and you have to just keep doing what you do and being a good human being and sort of adding value to people's lives.
Yeah, that's a very important point. Don't think about what you can get, think about what you can give.
Yes, always. And what you give out will always come back to you.
All right, so this is my favorite segment, the rapid fire round.
Okay.
I'll say something, you'll either have to say you'll build it or you'll blow it up.
Okay.
Quick questions, quick answers, no overthinking.
Okay.
All right? So, a university degree.
Build it. Okay. Build it, but change it.
Okay.
With the new world, yeah.
Influencer beauty brands.
Build it.
Airbnb arbitrage.
Build it. It's a great business.
Record labels.
I mean, I wish they would build it more, but it's kind of blowing up at the moment, isn't it?
It is. AI generated music.
Scary. It's a crazy time, but we've got to accept it and build it and use it to help us.
Passive income myth.
Passive income myth. It's a myth. I think blow it. That's just, nothing is completely passive.
Nepotism.
It's there in every industry, not just music or entertainment. It's there, accept it, but don't let it bother you.
Moving back to India.
I love that. I love India. India is my heart, so build it. Yeah.
Owning versus renting.
Both. There's advantages of both. There's different ways of using your cash. So if you're living in the place, I'd say rent it.
Fair enough. Fame without money.
Fame without money, blow it. Like, what is fame?
Fair enough.
That's the easy bit.
So what I take away from today's conversation is very simple. Skills create income. Income creates options, and options create power. Whether you're a 15-year-old and trying to understand and figure out your first skills, or you're a 30-year-old and trying to understand assets and ownership, the game is the same. Build, learn, pivot, repeat. Avina, thank you so much for the transparency. And to everyone watching, don't chase titles, chase skills.